Hey class, I hope everyone's doing well, enjoying their weekend. As promised, I'm going to read Dewey Bob. And as promised, I'll make a shout out for KP. Hope you're watching. In this book, there's some tricky words, so I'm going to go over them before I start reading. One word is nocturnal, which means this is animals that sleep during the day and are awake at night. Raccoons are an example of this. So are bats. So sometimes you see bats flying around at night, but you don't see them flying around during the day because that's when they sleep. So Dewey Bob is a raccoon, and you will see the word nocturnal. The next word is moseyed. Moseyed means walked slowly to get somewhere. And the word breeches, this is going to be the first word that you're going to see in the book. And this is the word that also means pants. So when you're too big for your breeches, that means you're too big for your pants and you need to go find new ones. So this is Dewey Bob by Judy Schnacker. She wrote and illustrated the book. In the front cover, you can see a bunch of buttons. So I think that means that the buttons are going to be a very important thing in the story. Dewey Bob Crockett was born in the pocket of an old pair of pants. And when he got too big for his breeches, there's the word breeches, just like that. Remember, it means pants. Dewey knew that what he had to do. Time to find your own pair of pants, son, said Ma Crockett, wiping away a tear. And don't forget to take your buttons, she added, handing him one for the road. So she's handing him a button. I guess we already found out the significance. True Dewey had never met a button he didn't like. But when his collection began to weigh down the family pants, Dewey knew it was time to move on. Goodbye, Dewey. Hello, button. He wasn't exactly sad about leaving, because Dewey had mastered every raccoon rule there was in the book, especially the one about washing stuff. Why, I'm as clean as the beans are green, declared Dewey, every time he spun his little paws around a bar of soap. But finding a home that was big enough was harder than he ever imagined. I'm going to go back to cleaning stuff. So, now that we're in the quarantine, now that the coronavirus is spreading, it's very important to wash your hands. So I made a text-to-self connection that he keeps himself clean, and we have to work on keeping ourselves clean so that we can protect ourselves from the virus. But finding a home that was big enough was harder than he had ever imagined, because Dewey collected far more than just buttons. He collected experiences too. There's only so much a heart can hold, said Dewey, opening up an old glass jar, before it begins to overflow. That's one heck of a moon, said the raccoon with a sigh, and I'm going to save me some. How is he going to save the moon? Dewey had just about given up finding a place when over yonder he spied a large pair of pants hanging on a clothesline for a brief moment. For a brief moment, Dewey was tempted to move right into the left leg and call it a night, but that's when he saw it. No pants for me, 'cause I'm gonna live in a big oak tree, he sang, looking straight up at his future home. So here he is looking at his future home. And if you look at what he sang, you can see that there's rhyming. Like me and tree. The place was as empty as a hatched egg, and filthy too. But a little dirt didn't scare Dewey. I'm a mean, clean washing machine, said the little raccoon as he scrubbed the place spotless. Then he took a long soak in the tub with some of his favorite buttons. Perhaps a stripe would be nice. Look at all his buttons. And he's reading a magazine. Making another text-to-self connection. Sometimes, when people are taking a bath, they read books or look at magazines. Sweet mother of marbles, said Dewey, looking around. This place needs some decorating. So Dewey dried off and went out to do a little shopping. The first stop was a row of trash cans, but they were way too crowded for his liking. Look at all the raccoons in the garbage cans. Keep it neat, fellas. Who do you think we are? We are, Dewey. You? Pfft. Then he moseyed on down. Moseyed? Look! We found the word moseyed. So then he moseyed on down to his favorite spot, the dump, where Dewey Bob finished from a mountain of lost and tossed things. Remember, moseyed means walked, so he walked on down to his favorite spot, the dump. Some folks' trash is a raccoon's treasure, and Dewey Bob Crockett will pick it all for pleasure. Huh. Treasure and pleasure rhyme. He keeps rhyming. You should see what's floating in the ocean, Dewey. When his cart was full, Dewey Bob pushed it over to a small stream and scrubbed his catch until it was as clean as a bucket of bleached bones. Then he brought it all back home. Dewey worked day and night, separating his odds from his ends. Now this here has potential, he said, holding up an end. Then that little rascal set to work doing what Dewey did best, making things. Some things were downright practical, while other things were what Dewey called art. Perfect buttons, shiny buttons, sitting in a jar. My favorite buttons are a secret, but you know who you are. So here we have R and jar that rhyme. Seems that every time he's talking, he's rhyming. So we have his different art or inventions that he's creating. And then we have this. This is a real humdinger, declared Dewey. Look how tall that is. That's a lot of stuff that he went shopping for. But as he ran his tiny paws up and down and all around his new creations, he began to feel a case of the itchy twitchies creeping up his spine, a sure sign that a spell of collecting was coming on. He has a collection of buttons and a collection of other stuff that he got to decorate his house. So Dewey grabbed a clean glass jar, stepped outside of his tree, and collected the very first things he saw. Fireflies. Dewey was partial to sparkly things, but he didn't have the heart to keep them. Tiny things with dark green wings and starlight in your tummies. Don't you miss your glowing homes and your sparkly mummies. So here we have mummies and tummies that rhymes. He just keeps rhyming. Truth was, Dewey had begun to miss Ma Crockett back home in the family pants. And feeling a tad bit lonesome, the little fellow did something real unusual for a nocturnal creature. There's the word nocturnal, which means that he's supposed to sleep during the day. He went to bed. But before Dewey fell asleep, he needed to collect his thoughts, the most important one tucked under his pillow. I need friends. So we're going to stop here for today. It says that he needs friends. So tell whoever's watching this with you what you think he's going to do next. How do you think he's going to get some friends? And I'll see you in the next video.